Aloha. Thanks for your consideration of the views expressed in this ThinkTech commentary, which was submitted by the host of our Connecting the Dots show, and which we are calling Trump Distractions. Donald Trump has made it very clear since 2015 that he rejects truth and open honesty. He also rejects following laws or requesting permission, even if it's legally required. He acts for retribution and punishment, or to assert power, or simply on passing momentary whims. He repeatedly shows a lack of in-depth understanding of crucial concepts, as well as a refusal to listen to more experienced and intelligent voices that could assist him in decision-making. He is unstable and vengeful, as well as juvenile. Time and again, Trump will suddenly commit some act, often without warning or without following required protocols. He's instituted and raised and lowered tariffs, demolished part of the White House to start construction on a grossly oversized ballroom, repeatedly tried to deflect from the ever-present Epstein files, insulted and belittled individual people internationally, and committed countless other apparently senseless acts. What's his game? There are three ways of analyzing Trump's arbitrary and sometimes outright dangerous activities. 1. Distractions. 2. Thoughtful actions. 3. Incompetent dementia. Distractions. You will often read online comments saying that when Trump does something outlandish, it's a distraction or a deflection to turn people's attentions away from something he doesn't like. This is an entirely plausible concept, given that the people behind Trump, such as Steve Bannon, have been quoted as praising this extremely useful technique. You flood the zone with so many competing actions that onlookers just can't keep up, and people get worn down to where they stop getting angry and resisting and eventually stop complaining. A major consideration here, however, is that this requires planning ahead of time, spacing out the various announcements so that they're ready to go when some other subject gets too much attention. Trump is too childish to be able to work this way. He acts arbitrarily and emotionally. His top-level handlers can, of course, plan these things and feed them to him as needed. But Trump is also too headstrong and defiant to be handled thoughtfully and with planning. He will simply do what he wants, when he wants. It's true, however, that Epstein continues to be such an ever-present threat to him and to many others around him that any distraction from that constant difficulty will work for at least a day or so, meaning that any quick distraction will serve usefully. Thoughtful actions. Possibly, though not probably, Trump, or more likely his people, could have long-range plans for how to achieve particular goals. Thus, the recent abrupt military attacks, actually starting wars, could be serving to assist the United States in some ways that are not clear to us citizens. But it's also possible or even probable that the new wars are not for the good of the country, but instead for private interests who will benefit from them, mostly financially. Again, the reasons won't be obvious, but there could be long-term convoluted connections for even Trump himself, personally. Could this be true? Perhaps. But again, Trump's personality wouldn't suggest this. He doesn't have the ability to focus and work consistently towards something in the future. If this is happening, it's because other people are telling him what to do and laying the groundwork. And keep in mind that all the good advice in the world given to Donald Trump is meaningless if it doesn't appeal to him. Rational, intelligent people who tell him what he doesn't want to hear will be ignored in favor of those who stroke his ego and offer him things he likes. Incompetent dementia. Finally, it's also very possible that Trump's behavior isn't even rational at all. There's much discussion of him possibly undergoing frontotemporal dementia, which involves the degeneration of the front part of the brain, which controls emotions and keeps people acting in socially acceptable ways. If this is true, then his actions could be the result of impulses he can't control. He's well known for holding grudges and wanting to take vengeance for things that anger him, and coupled with the power that he holds as president, he can order military destruction at his whim. Is this the reason for the two recent actions against Venezuela and Iran? It's been admitted that the claimed justification for attacking the latter to prevent Iran from imminent attacks, or to prevent it from making atomic weapons, was untrue. So how and why this war was begun so suddenly remains unexplained. At the moment, there is no way to know why Trump does what he does. His supporters will argue that every action he takes is well thought out and sensible, but it's obvious that this is not true. Only the passage of time will reveal what's really going on right now, either because his deterioration will reach the point that it must be openly acknowledged, or because the people in the know will eventually tell what they know from behind the scenes. Meanwhile, we can only watch and conjecture, and work to cover ourselves in the face of more and more disruptions. These matters were the subject of a recent ThinkTech talk show. To see that show, go to thinktechhawaii.com or youtube.com/thinktechhawaii and search on the words Trump distractions. Thanks for watching, and thanks again for your consideration of the views expressed in this ThinkTech commentary. We look forward to seeing you again soon for the next one. Aloha.